Good day, fellow cinema nerds and geek gamers of the internet. You're watching Deano Reviews. We're reviewing Rogue One, a Star Wars story today. I think that's made clear. I just watched the teaser trailer to the upcoming animated film, The Emoji Movie. I doubt any other review would start off by saying that, but let me just quickly say off the bat, because I'm not going to dedicate a reaction to it, because number one, I already watched it, number two, because I have Windows Movie Maker, I can't really do the whole have that here thing. Maybe one day, even I probably won't do that. I probably won't do reactions anytime soon, pretty much, and also it's not worth it. Little Van, wow. The joke's already old. The design is lazy. The jokes are lazy. The fact that this movie is being made makes me lose hope in the film industry. It's probably above an overreaction, but Sony. I mean, I'm using a PS4 to power this, so good job there. As for the other recent stuff, not the best. Do Sony make They don't make Samsung phones. They have Sony phones. Yeah, just confused Samsung for Sony phones there. That's a bit silly. But anywho, Rogue One, little rant there. So I just watched that. Thought I'd just get that off my chest. Yep, even since that was announced, I was quite cranky about it. But who cares? Rogue One. Rogue One is here, guys. I saw this movie on Saturday, so sorry it took me a while, even though there's already a bajillion reviews of this film out already, because I'm literally going to be like a speck. I'm going to be the speck on the flower from Horton Hears a Who, I'm like that speck, and that's what I'm on the one review, and all the other little, what do you call, petals? Not even the petal, it's like a weird fluffy flower, but all the other hairs of the flower is all the other reviews. There's a lot of other reviews, okay? There's Screen Junkies, Chris Stuckman, Jeremy Johns, Red Letter Media, a lot of them say it's positive. There's also quite a few that say it's negatively also. But basically, if you want to hear my thoughts, here's my thoughts. Even there's probably a bazillion other better constructed reviews out there. That is for sure. But anywho, Rogue One. So it's what I think. I really enjoyed the movie. I liked it. I liked it quite a bit. Not copying what Jeremy John said, but in his review he said the more he thought about it, the more he liked it. That's probably for me. Over the past few days I've thought about it, and I'm loving it. The movie has flaws. There is flaws. I think it's probably good that I've watched a bunch of other reviews, to make me realise certain things. That's probably true. I can't disagree there. But as for am I a fan of Star Wars? I like Star Wars. I'm not like a humongous fan. Every bit of lore, every character name in the book. Like Star Trek, I'm a fan. I mean, it was only like a year and a half ago or so that I caved in and bought those original films, even though I thought to myself, wait, I have to watch the original versions, but then I just said, oh, whatever. So I watched them. I mean, and I know of the changes, like in the special editions. I said, yeah, that's a change. Oh, look, Han Solo's neck just did this, even though Greedo's probably right in front of him, so I don't know how we could bloody miss him. But that's something other people about. Basically, when it comes to sci-fi nerddom, I'm a Whovian. I'll just say that. I'm a Doctor Who fan through and through, and it's not because I'm British. Stereotyping. No one said that. You didn't say that. That was just me trying to, I don't know, if anyone who did say or think that, just for the benefit of that person or people. Now, but so yes, I like Star Trek because even though I haven't watched much of the series, I really like the J.J. Abrams film and the concept and characters and everything. Heck, I love Spock and Nimoy. Rest in peace, man. And it's not the place. Actually, anywhere could be. Actually, yeah, that's true. Not everywhere's the place. But I like Star Wars. I really like the original films. I say Star Wars is my favourite, the first one. I say Star Wars instead of A New Hope. Prequels, I bought those just because, and I watched The Phantom Menace, and it took me probably like a month or a couple of weeks to then just cave in and watch Attack of the Clones and Revenge of the Sith. And I even watched the animated film Clone Wars, which I remember being meh to not very good, because the movie was just a bunch of quips over and over, and very interesting animation. But yes, and Chewbacca is probably my favourite of the original characters. Don't know why, I like Chewbacca. And but as for this movie, I thought this was a very interesting concept. You know, people say, "Oh, what's the point? Who cares how they got the plans?" You get to see it on the big screen, and it fills in a few holes, and it's just cool that you have this little spin-off thing, not part of this big thing. You have this little spin-off thing. It's like Doctor Strange for the Avengers. Made a Marvel reference, maybe because I'm saying like now these Star Wars movies coming out every year, which is a bit exhausting. I think you were like milking it a bit. It's a bit like Fantastic Beasts and five other movies, you know, coming up. But it makes Star Wars feel old and like, oh, here we go again. And also I watched a Red Letter Media review, and they said you can't really do much like as long if you take away stormtroopers or AT-ATs or X-Wings or something like that, like you can't really expand the universe much because there has to be something recognisable in there, which is true. So I know they're doing a Han Solo anthology thing, which should be interesting, I suppose, and then episode 8 and 9, as for after that, I don't know, like something that doesn't connect to the original films, something new, and doesn't need, like, I don't know, images of, like, I don't know, Darth Vader's destroyed helmet or a lightsaber or something. But anywho, I was very, that's something to the table. That's to the thoughts there. But as for I was quite excited for this because I just really liked the concept of like this shows you how they got the plans, and it's just cool to see that on a big screen. Yes, not everyone, some people don't really care, so it's a bit unnecessary. But it was just cool to see on the big screen, and also it was I very much enjoyed it. And people say, well, when the trailers come out, it's going to be like a Star Wars sci-fi war film, and it is. I mean, it's not like Saving Private Ryan, like that levels of like carnage and violence, because it's a Star Wars, and kids watch Star Wars, but it is quite darker. It's the darkest one yet. Like other people say. I mean, I know there's fights on the beaches, but instead of bullets, it's lasers. And as a sci-fi fan, I found that cool, because there's space battles also, and I found that cool. But yes, where to begin? As for the okay, let's begin with the characters. Shall I say my favourite? Okay. Almost everyone's going to say this because he's funny. Well, I didn't laugh out loud, but I just found him cool. K2SO, I at first I forgot his name, but it's K2SO. Not only because I absolutely adore his design, the design of him. In fact, I want a toy of him, because why not? But just and when I was watching the scenes, I just thought of Drax the Destroyer from Guardians because of so blatant he is. Just like I will not kill you, and he pretty much says you suck. You're not very good at this. Stuff like that. And I also found the voice cool, Alan Tudyk, I believe. But yes, K2SO was my favourite. As for the other characters, I mean, for example, I'm not going to remember everyone's names. In fact, there's points in this film when they're saying a bunch of random, like, alien, weird names, and I'm not connecting names to faces. I'm like, oh, wait, who are they talking about? Who's that? Wait, what's that weird name they just said? Who's that? And just hoping, I know, I'll just make sense of it all as it goes on. So I'm not remembering everyone's names. So, but I'll say what they are. Blind Chinese guy with the staff. He was cool. At first, I thought his line delivery was a bit weird. I don't know, like I thought at first I was like, wow, he's delivering these lines a bit weird. Is he not a very good actor or something? But no, he was cool, and he had an awesome bloody daredevil moment with his staff. He's blind and he could hear very good, and he hits things. So of course I thought of Daredevil. You know the moment I'm talking about, just Stormtrooper's staff. That moment was cool. And one the forces with me. That was also, I like that because when I see war film, I assume like back in World War 1 or 2, there was at least someone like holding like a cross and going like a "May God be with me" or something like that. So it was very reminiscent to stuff like that. But except here, it's with a giant planet-destroying ball and bloody metallic camels on the beaches. So yeah, all the noises outside. Make of that what you will. But yeah, where'd he go on? So he was cool. As for his friend, I really like they two were friends. We don't know how they're friends. So that's something that was brought up. We don't know how they're friends, but we know they're friends. And for that, I was like, okay, they're friends. I'll just go along with it. And you know, you could tell. And I like their dynamic because he's like saying, "I'm one with the Force is with me," and he's blind, has a staff, and the other guy like he doesn't really believe in all that, but he's like he just trusts this guy with life, and he got a big gun and big thing attached to his back. He was also cool. He pretty much had an assault laser rifle thing. So he was cool. I'm gonna say cool a lot. Like when I'm not up to saying bland or like, oh my gosh, amazing, this character was so in depth and layered, I say he was cool. He did stuff, he was neat. As for Felicity Jones, her character, I did find her a bit bland, a bit dull. Along with the accent dude. At first I'm not very good with accents. At first I didn't know why he's saying it. But that's just me. I mean, it kind of also made me think, wow, everyone almost... in a lot of Star Wars films, people speak very monotoned. I mean, to be honest, not everyone, but a lot of people in Star Wars films just speak monotone, like we need to go to the Imperial. We need to stop the stormtroopers, and like a lot of them just speak. Not in the prequels, unenthusiastic as hell. You could not everyone. But like here, a lot of people do just speak very monotoned. Not saying that's a bad thing. I'm just pointing out. But as for Felicity Jones, besides her backstory and the relationship with her dad, who has a lot to do with what's going on, she seems like I could tell that she likes to be on her own. She doesn't like the Empire. She's very determined. As for the accent guy, he's very ruthless and basically he's not very merciful. He's really attached to his job. I mean, maybe I'm not finding the right terminology, but like those two, they could have been better. They could have been more in depth and layered, or something like them just sitting down and talking. But like, these are the main characters, and there's also the guy who kind of looks after Felicity Jones, Jen, for most of her life, and also has a metal leg. And at first, he spoke really weirdly, might I just say. He was like, live the dream, like, Jen, like, not like Eddie Redmayne Jupiter Ascending levels, but he just talked a bit oddly, and I was like, okay, that sounds a bit unintentionally funny. But yes, and also the pilot guy, he was cool. As for the villain, you can tell I can't remember their names. I'm just pointing and just saying the basically who they really were. But as for the villain, the guy in the white coat, I should have been better prepared. Like just that guy, he was cool, like a slimy British villain. But here it worked because the Empire is meant to be just they're so bad and evil. They want to take over everything, and most of them are British. And well, the rebels fight them. Like, and him just being like in Deadpool, that's just a British villain. But here, like, is like good. It's kind of it fits because like they just shout at people like, "Go do this," and he's just like, "Oh, things aren't going his way," and he's being kicked around by Grandma Tarkin. I said Grandma. I can't pronounce Tarkin. He's saying, "Do this." He's like, "Fine, I'll do that. I could do better. Okay, I'll fix it." Jeez, you're like my dad. Tarkin is just like, "Go to your room." Like, no, I want to go fight. I want to go stop the rebels. Like, no, go to your room. And then and then the stormtrooper goes like, "Should we destroy his room with the Death Star?" And he's like, You may fire when ready. Even though his bedroom would probably... like his bedroom is like on a planet. It goes like, start a Death Star hovering over it. He's looking out the window like, oh, come on. Like, you meant fire when ready. Speaking of Tudyk, am I saying the right character? You know what character I mean? Am I getting a name wrong? You know, you meant Fire When Ready in the original films. Peter Cushing, he passed away. They use mocap, so basically, you know how they got, was it Jeff Bridges? It was Jeff Bridges in Tron Legacy. You can tell that was CG. I mean, for the most part, it looked like he was there, but like here is when they move their mouth. I don't move the mouth like, you know, a normal person, like I am. I'm saying like I move my mouth like a normal person. Like, you can tell, you know, voices coming out of my mouth and I'm moving it like, you know, a normal person. But here, like with the motion capture in Tron Legacy, and here, the mouth just move weirdly, like just like, oh no, it's just very unnatural. Like I can't really do it with my hand. Like I know he says like, you may fire when ready. Now like. A bit like that, but basically the mouth doesn't, like, they look real, like they're actually there when they're standing still, but is when they move their mouth it just looks odd and like, yeah, that's CG. It not, your eye just notices it. It's very good CG. I mean, like, some people say, oh, that's awful. I mean, when I was like, it, as for how he looks like Peter Cushing is actually there. I couldn't really tell it was CG, but I think it's pretty much everyone agrees it's the mouth. That makes it obvious. But it was cool. It was really cool that they have there. And it's also the same thing happens at the end. And man, I mean, it didn't look as bad with the mouth. You can still tell a bit, but the one at the end, awesome. Really, really, really cool. Oh man, I thought someone was going to open the door. That's when the movie ends up, like, and I saw the movie alone. I normally see geeky movies for somewhere else, and I just wanted to go and, like, obviously I'm gonna have to geek out on my own, like, that person, even though been in 3 movies, but the fact that the person was there. Oh, and by the way, as for, you know, people from the original series, I mean, people go like, oh, like, it has to connect the stories. The only thing. Yeah, to be honest, the thing people are mostly like geeking out about and awesome is the things they do that link to the original series. But this is the Star Wars movie. I mean, it takes place like closely before the first Star Wars movie. So obviously they're going to geek out about seeing like acts as stormtroopers and Darth Vader and Death Star again, but like on the big screen and like update and look awesome and realistic with today's technology. So obviously people geek out about that because now we have new technology, we can do new things, and that means we can make things look more, I don't know, up to date, and also do new things with it that they couldn't do back when they made the first Star Wars film, like a particular scene involving Vader. You all know the scene. I'll get to that. So yeah, even though the original things here, like the characters, they don't live up to the characters of the original series, films. So like here, like a lot of them are just funny and quirky and have something about them. Well, those characters, you know, those are iconic characters. So, but I mean, like, even though people are saying like the thing they really, really liked about this film linked to, you know, the original films, so it's just pandering and fan service and fan fiction. But this movie still had it, unlike those films, like the stuff it did with it, and it also told a really good story in a very cool way. And yeah. But where was I? I was talking about. Oh, I went a bit off track there. Oh yeah, Vader. Just the fact I get to see old Vader on the big screen with James Earl Jones' voice was pretty awesome. People are saying, "Oh no, he's not in the movie enough." You got like the end of Revenge of the Sith and the original 3 movies. That's a lot of Vader. I mean, this is meant to be, you know, for these characters, not just more Vader. That's just to, you know, link it, and, you know, just to link it and just have Vader in it for it to be cool, really. And it was cool. It was bloody awesome. I mean, if you think you wanted more Vader, that's fine. I think we've got a lot of Vader, and I think it would have taken away from it a bit. So I think we had quite enough of Vader, and there's one particular scene with Vader, obviously the best scene in the entire movie, a scene that the originals or prequels don't have, not even The Force Awakens. Those movies don't have this scene. Yes, it features a character from the original films, and it's not like solely dedicated to the new character. But oh my gosh, it was so awesome. I mean, I know some people have already pirated and put it on YouTube. If you know it, you know what I mean. My God, that was a pretty awesome scene. People say, is this movie better than Force Awakens? Force Awakens was a reintroduction of Star Wars films. Yes, it had a lot of similarities to the first Star Wars film, A New Hope. But it was kind of a reintroduction for the new age of fans. Yeah. And it was a very enjoyable, fun, light-hearted for the most part movie. And lightsaber fights at stormtroopers. This is a dark war film, and it is quite different. It's a spin-off. It's quite different, but for me, I made Force Awakens my number one film of last year, and if I think back, I still think that was justified. That I had a lot of fun watching that film. But as for this, did I like Force Awakens more than Rogue One? Well, I really love Force Awakens, and I think already I really love this film. Thinking about it more and more, but this film, for example, a lot of people say this. The beginning is very slow. The beginning, basically, how this film begins, and also what's it about. That links to the main character. I swear I've seen it from somewhere. In fact, I've seen a lot of the things in this movie from other movies, like thinking about something and then waking up for it to be a dream, it being a nightmare of sorts. Underdog saves the day. It has cliches. I mean, well, not cliches, just things you've seen from other movies, but this is Star Wars. So it's completely justified. Because the Star Wars is a 10 out of 10. I mean, I bet that some people do that. Just because Suicide Squad had Harley Quinn in it, and it's a DC film, superhero 10 out of 10. There are people like that. Nothing against them. But yes, this movie does begin a bit slow because it goes from here to here to here to here. We introduce this character, this character, this character. There's that. It takes a while to warm up to it and get the gears turning, but halfway through this film, as soon as they get to that planet and the actual getting the plans begin, it's a synopsis of the movie, not really a spoiler. It hits the fan and it's awesome. Wow, there are space battles and AT-ATs and AT-ATs, AT-AT, however, and they're on the ground, they're shooting, and it was so cool. I mean, there's something happens to a character, and when that thing happens to the character, and something else happens to this character, you begin to realise, oh, I see how this ends. But basically, that when they get to that, basically it looks like Florida, Hawaii or something, with just trees and grass and the sea and the ocean and stuff. It was so cool. But yeah, it takes a while to get going. But do I like it more than Force Awakens? I mean, both of these movies, I don't know, some people say a flaw of Force Awakens to that is very similar. Basically, just a copy of the first Star Wars here, the slow beginning. I don't know, basically, the characters on oh my gosh, super amazing, I'm going to remember these characters forever, I'm going to remember Jen forever. While Rey and, Rey, Poe were, really cool and charismatic, something about them. It'll probably have to have a real thing, but both of these movies I really, really like. But, I mean, some people say otherwise, I know. But just me thinking about I do really, really like this film, and there's flaws to both. I've watched many, many reviews of both these films, so I know. But, yeah. So, Rogue One, by the way, CGI in Rogue One, this movie, awesome CGI. I assume practical was also involved. Oh yeah, and there's also nods to little nods, connections, links stuff to like the original films, and pretty much the film like that pretty much happens after this film ends. I probably should have, as soon as I go and watch the first Star Wars again, I probably should have, just from there to there, boom, puzzle piece. But yes, so like little cameos, and it was like, look at that, little makes you smile. Some people call it pandering and fan service, and like there's two characters that pop up, that's pretty much been in every Star Wars film. Where else to go from here? Okay, characters. Oh, and the director of this film. Coincidentally, I'm applying to the university the director of this film went to. That's not the reason, but I found it cool. He did a good job. That's quite the break. I believe you made the Godzilla film, the remake. I haven't seen that, not as of yet. But all the acting is very good here. All very good performances, and is pretty darn good. It's a good movie, to say the least. So yeah, I'll probably think of something else and put it in here, but I recommend it. Go see it. It's pretty awesome to watch on the big screen. And if you like Star Wars, definitely. It's a sci-fi war film, and even though it may not, basically just getting the plans of the Death Star is all good, and also it fills in like something people have been making fun of the original Star Wars film for years that had to do with the Death Star. Fills that up. There's also a scene with a tentacle thing. Bit pointless. I'm not seeing that. I actually do think that isn't. I mean, something else many people say about this movie, that this doesn't show that the rebels are like completely good. I mean, the Empire is completely bad. They are assholes. But here the rebels aren't completely good. Like, they have to make difficult decisions, which grounds it in reality. I mean, I say it adds, some realism, humanity of sorts, even though this is a universe that has Wookiees and Ewoks and glowing swords and metallic camels that shoot lasers and X-Wings and telekinesis. Not telekinesis, it's the Force. And lightning hand things. I mean, it seems weird to add grounded realism to a universe that has that in it, but it does that, and it's appreciated, so it's not just like good, bad, just have lasers to fight and stuff. I mean, you could look at the originals in that way, but here it adds, a bit of realism, a bit of humanity of sorts. Yeah. I mean, you don't really get many moments of the characters talking about that, but you get one particular moment, but it doesn't really expand on that. But basically, yeah, it does that. It seems odd. It's like, I don't know, getting, I don't know, this doesn't. Well, that's that. I think about it. There's the Harry Potter films that has wizards and like, heck, it started off with like shoving a wand up a bloody troll's nose, and then it had like death and sadness and like loving someone that you couldn't have, and like deep shite like that. But still, this movie does that, and if you think, oh, that seems a bit silly, but I don't know. I say it works. I mean, even if not shown like 24/7, like they don't constantly remind you, oh yeah, but we make bad decisions. Like, it doesn't just like hit you over the head with it, but it does have scenes showing that. Yeah. But then I see those space battles, and basically like after the, maybe the first half of this film being like having its slow points, but then get to the awesome stuff on the planet and seeing the planets and space battles and nerd dream come true. You can hate this movie all you want for like, oh, just milking Star Wars, it's just, oh, it's unnecessary. it's pretty, for me, it was pretty awesome and great, and a lot of other people were saying this so too. Yeah, that was good. I mean, it's still dark as hell, and like you know the outcome either way. I mean, why not? I mean, like the outcome, like basically what happens after this and forward, like because you already know what's gonna happen with like further down the road because it's a prequel, pretty much. No reference to sand is made. Like one character like whatever, and there was once a person, Jar Jar Binks, I think his name was. Nope. Yeah, pretty great. I just want to emphasise that because lasers, space battles, and that like that second half and A+. I'm just saying like I said, the more I think about this movie, the more I like it. I really enjoyed it. Now, like I said, that first hour could be a bit slow and here to here, and I'm not just saying I really enjoy it because explosions and lasers and all Star Wars and it made me nerdgasm, as it were. But like, and yes, the characters, they're not the most memorable. And that first hour, I was a bit choppy and slow, maybe like here to here to here. And the I really like K2SO and but these characters, I don't know all the backstories to all of them and stuff. And some people say, it's just basically a bunch of references to Star Wars and like explosions and stuff that make people happy, and people just give it a 10 out of 10 for that. But like, it's really well crafted. The production value, the CGI, like there's some really good scenes and good dialogue here, and you do like these characters. You don't know everything about them. Some of them aren't the most, some of them are a bit bland, but this movie isn't just throwing stuff on the screen for the sake of it. Explosions, lasers, look, Darth Vader. No, it is a good movie, and so I just want to say, I'm not saying it because explosions. What's that sound, if you can hear it? Probably an airplane, and it is. So hopefully, I'm getting across that, it's not just that. Like, that stuff was awesome. That's the icing on the cake. But there is good stuff here, like how it feels like a war film and everything. Hopefully, all the points I've said before is coming together. So there's that, and there's this, but there's flaws that not making it like the best movie I've ever seen. So yeah. Again, other better constructed reviews out there. But here's my thoughts. I am but a servant. Yeah. You've been watching the reviews and the Screen Watch Like You, and Merry Christmas. Yeah. And hopefully not on like Christmas Eve, like I gotta make something fast. Like, hopefully before I'll build up the motivation to get dressed, and even if I don't plan it whatsoever, put a Christmas video out and just try my best with however I edit it, whatever I do, because I've been making a Christmas video like ever since I made this channel every December, even though it's just a little vlog or something. I love Christmas thing. We're happy happening soon. I'll do that. So yeah. So even though it's been a while, it was like quite a while ago I reviewed Moana, but Merry Christmas, and I'll hopefully make a video soon because I feel obligated. But yeah. Till the next time, my friends. So lonely. Have to end it awkward, don't I? Yeah, I did it. Yes, I did. I acknowledge that the person who plays Jen's father was the villain in Doctor Strange. That also came out this year. One being a Marvel film, this being a Star Wars film. I acknowledge that, that's something to add in. And there also was no Qual. Just said a long time ago, the guy's far away, there was no up the screen. God damn!